waiting for.
Hi there, good afternoon. We are very excited to be interviewing our first headmaster today. We are due to hook up with William Goldsmith from St George's School, Windsor Castle. Really exciting to have a chat with him and to hear a little bit more about the school and how things are during these strange times. Just going to send them a notification, and we should hopefully link up with them shortly. Hi, William.
Hello, good afternoon, Antonia.
Hi there, lovely to see you. Thanks so much for sparing the time to having a chat with us today.
Likewise, thank you so much for having me. It's great.
No, not at all. It's we're very excited about our new format and getting a little bit more information on you and the schools. So thank you again for your time.
Oh, brilliant! You're very welcome.
Just keen to kick off with a couple of questions. We wondered who or what had inspired you to teach, William.
So I'm one of these people actually that has always wanted to teach. I was brought up in a school where my father had been a schoolmaster and then went off to become a head. And I, like him, aged sort of 5 or 6, used to spend my school holidays and weekends playing schools. So I wouldn't quite line up all my teddy bears. But I certainly spent a good few years using my father's old mark books and realised then and there that's absolutely what I wanted to do.
So you knew from a very early age, from the sounds of things, and haven't been taken off course.
I did, yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, a slightly lighter weight question. What celebrity would play you in a movie about your life? You're allowed to be as self-flattering as you feel.
Golly, I think possibly rather sort of in an endearing sense or rather tragically, I suspect it would be someone like Hugh Grant, I think. I'm not sure if that's sort of punching above my weight enormously or
no, I think
slightly doing myself down. I'm just not sure.
Probably a good healthy mixture of the two, which is ideal. Fantastic. And if you've got one, what would be your life motto?
So we talk about kindness a huge amount at St George's, as all schools do. And as we come into school, just by our front door at school, there's a quote, very, very famous quote by Aesop. And I just think it's absolutely fantastic. It's no act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted. And I think that's always been really important to me. And I think it's really important in our schools. And I think it's really important now more than ever.
I agree. Very good mantra for life, isn't it? You don't go far wrong on that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, so we're going to cast you off to a desert island, I'm afraid.
Lovely.
Take you out of your comfort zone. And I wonder what the 3 things, whether they be luxury or practical, you would take with you to while away the hours on this desert island on your own.
So I would ask to take my family, and if I'm not able to take them, I would take certainly a picture of my family.
Yeah,
at the moment, I'm happy not to because my younger son is currently potty training. So I'm very happy.
You might leave him behind.
Passed off to a desert island at the moment. I would take an iPod with all my music.
Yeah.
That's really important. And I think I would take a journal, and if the journal can come with a pen, that would be marvellous, because I think what you can do with pen and paper is absolutely fantastic.
We'll allow you
never ending.
Yeah, although it slips into the 4 items, we'll be really kind and allow you the pen.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And it sounds like you've wanted to be a head for a very long time, but if by chance you hadn't gone down that route, is there a job or a profession that you could see yourself, or your dream job might have been?
I'd absolutely love, occasionally, I would love to be a farmer. Oh. And we used to have a holiday home in Shropshire, and I spent my whole holidays in Shropshire on a farm. And actually where my family and I are, we have a home in Scotland on a farm as well. And I'm, like my 2 boys, I am obsessed with combine harvesters and tractors. So I think I would love to be a farmer.
You could see yourself in outdoor life, even all those early morning starts and cold wintry mornings. That would be okay with it.
Yes, that would be a great struggle. But
Yeah,
I think once I'm in that tractor, I'd be
you'd be all
okay.
right. Yeah, absolutely. Sounds good. Do you have a signature dish? If you had
So
to, yeah, if you were in charge for the night and you were cooking your best dish, what might it be?
I I cook, this sounds very bland, so I'm going to try and dress it up a little bit. I cook macaroni cheese, but it's Jamie Oliver's macaroni cheese from his Italian cookbook. And it
Oh, right.
contains all sorts of yummy things, a huge amount of tomatoes, anchovies, all sorts of things. And
So
I
not your
absolutely
average.
love it.
Okay.
Not, it probably is below average once I've sort of
Given it a good try.
yes, exactly. But it is my favourite thing to cook.
Fantastic. Sounds like the perfect thing for it when it's all cold and wintry. And yeah, absolutely sounds ideal. Wonderful. Look forward to getting that sometime, William. Thank you. What's something that most people don't know about you?
I think people would be shocked if they opened my wardrobe and found about 500, 600 ties.
Oh, wow.
And I absolutely love, although I haven't bought ties recently, but I absolutely love ties.
And are they?
I'm
Are
wearing
they
a very
also,
boring one today.
I was about to say you're not illustrating the most garish tie in the world.
I'm
today.
not at all. I'm wearing a very, very dull one today. But I really do. I love buying ties, and I think I've got enough to wear one every day, probably.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that sounds very good. And three dinner guests, dead or alive. If you could invite three people for dinner who would really be the most inspirational or exciting or inspiring people that you would like to know, who might they be?
Extraordinary you should ask that. I've just had interview practice with one of our Year 6 boys heading off to Tunbridge School tomorrow for his interview. And I asked that question, and he looked at me and said, "Oh, that's an obvious question to ask. Everyone asks that question." And I genuinely thought I might be the only prep school head that asks that question for interview candidates, but clearly not.
Right.
I will link that, I think, to our three values as a school. So we have three values: kindness, honesty, and courage.
Right.
So I would like to invite someone which represents those three values. So for kindness, I think I would invite the Dalai Lama. Because who wouldn't want to meet the Dalai Lama? Who wouldn't want to just sit over a rather nice glass of wine or a lovely long dinner and just listen to the Dalai Lama and listen to everything he has to say about his observations, his years of wisdom and experience, and what he would say about the current situation and how kindness could play a key role in that. For honesty, I grew up really with Lance Armstrong as my role model, and I really looked up to him. You know, this guy who had beaten devastating illness to come back and win the Tour de France, and set up his enormous cancer foundation in America. And I remember when I was 18 having the Livestrong yellow band around our wrists, and there was a huge amount around Lance Armstrong, and then to discover that he had cheated and obviously thrown away his own cycling legacy and career, but I can't help but feel let down a huge number of people, and I think I'd like to explore why he felt the need to do that.
And what pressures he was under.
Absolutely. And then for courage, I was always very interested, and I think this ties in with something that's really pertinent at the moment, when we in our schools are looking at diversity very, very clearly at the moment. And I would invite Emily Pankhurst, the leader of the suffragette movement. And I think what extraordinary courage throughout her mission that she showed right up to the very end, and in a very, very difficult time to stand up for rights for women at the turn of the century.
I was about to say she was well ahead of her time, wasn't she?
She really was, absolutely. And I think the three of them, well, certainly the Dalai Lama and Emily Pankhurst, I'm not quite sure how Lance Armstrong would fit into the conversation there. But
I think it would
if I were
make a
to
very
be,
good evening.
it
And
would,
what with that and your macaroni cheese, the whole thing will be made.
and I think if I were to be overindulge and invite a fourth, I would invite someone like Malala, who I think captures all those values.
Absolutely, no, totally an example to many. Oh, I'd love to be invited to that. So I shall hold out for my invitation. And it sounds from the iPod luxury, the luxury thing that you're bringing to the desert island. It sounds like music, and clearly the music from St George's is a huge part of your life. So I'm going to ask you a very difficult question and ask what your favourite song of all time is.
Well, I'm going to disappoint you because music is very important in my life, and I love music, and I love a broad range of music, and I'm extremely lucky to work in a school that takes music very, very seriously. However, my favourite song, I think, I married a Scot, and we head back to our house in St Andrews during school holidays. And as we are approaching our farm track, we always put on the Proclaimers' 500 Miles. And not necessarily for its musicality, but for sheer happiness.
Yeah.
And a good feel-good tune. I think it is the Proclaimers.
Yeah, I think it's a very good choice. Take some beating, I agree. And finally, William, can I? And I think that the theme of kindness has come out really strongly today. But if I had to ask, what one attribute stands out at St George's and makes it stand apart from other schools, is there one particular thing that you would hone in on?
Yeah, I think the obvious one is probably we're unique in that we're the only school that has a castle. But I am going to go with authenticity. I think we are a school that allows children to be children, and we are everyone. There's no type. And I think that's really important. We mustn't turn out a type. We must take everyone's characteristics, everyone's character strengths and qualities, and nurture them and be really, really proud of them and respect them. And I think that's what makes St George's a really, really special place.
Sounds good. I have to tell you that my father is an old boy at St George's.
Ah, wonderful.
He recounts holding, I think he was one of the choir boys, but also he was in charge of holding the cross, which I'm now going to let myself down. There's probably a special name. Is it a sacrosanct? Or...
I've heard, yes, in many places.
Yeah,
it's sacrosanct.
yeah. So
Holly.
I've heard many a time that was his role. So it's obviously been a special school for a long time.
Oh, wonderful. That's fantastic to hear. Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, William, thank you so much for your time today. Lovely to hear a bit more about you. And again, thank you for being our first interviewee. So I'm afraid we've cut our teeth on you today, but you've done a remarkable job. So thank you.
Well, it's been absolutely lovely to meet you. Thank you so much.
Absolute pleasure. We look forward to speaking to you soon. Take care.
Brilliant. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.